Thank you for joining us on Not Us United. Today, Michael and Nick discuss what they have been watching and reading lately and tackle the next 5 films from the IMDB Top 250 to see if they should stay or make their way off the list. If you are listening on YouTube, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. And if you are listening on Spotify, iTunes, or any other podcasting site, please leave us a review and reach out. Thank you, and enjoy this week's episode.
We should have a bloopers episode. We have some good stuff.
Yeah, but I just feel like most of our bloopers are in the episodes.
No, that's also true.
Yeah.
There's like maybe one where we go, oh,
And we're keeping this.
Oh,
This is it. This is it. This is the start
fun.
of the episode. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. This is our laid back coffee cafe. We hope you're finding yourselves in just a nice relaxing corner of some
bistro.
I assume you're in Seattle.
Yeah.
Coffee shop,
Yeah.
bistro. And just, with a nice steak or latte.
A steak at a bistro?
Both?
Nicholas, Seattle's wilding right now.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just listening to Not Us United.
Yeah.
Thanks for choosing us.
We're the laid back, Not Us United episode today.
I actually did hear from a friend that we have very good podcasting voices.
La-di-da, Nick. Which friend was this? I'm excited. That makes me excited.
I will not share their
Okay.
information,
Okay.
but one day we will, because it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a big reveal.
Okay.
But I just want to...
Episode 100?
Yeah, I'm just going to push that down. Snowball.
What are we going to do for episode 100? 50 was big t-shirts.
I thought about it. The options I have now are
Nick goes into a dunk tank.
Yep.
And we record
it'd be hard for me to record audio that way.
Oh, I think it's fine.
Okay. I thought it would be fun to do maybe like we're outdoors.
Uh-huh. In a dunk tank.
Maybe we're only wearing swimsuits.
This is vaguely very close to what I was doing.
Maybe it's covered in snow. I don't remember 100. I don't know. It'll be summer probably.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know. What if we found a theater that would be okay with us recording in a theater?
Whoa, that'd be
Meta.
sick. I don't know how the mics might pick up a lot of that sound, but
but maybe we don't watch anything. We just record in a theater.
that'd be super cool.
That actually would be pretty sick.
That'd be really cool.
I'll work.
I mean,
on
if we could rent out a theater,
yeah, it would be a very expensive episode, but I mean,
we could
only
talk.
the best
We
for
could
the
talk
people.
to our boys.
Sure.
Our boys.
Maybe
down
do
at the
like
theater.
a movie fight, but like whoever loses actually has to get punched, and we're in an arena.
Well,
of some kind.
at some point, I don't know if this was recorded on the podcast, but at some reason, I don't know when, but I said you could punch me. At some point.
Oh yeah, you did.
You
say
have
that.
one punch on me. I don't know why.
What was that for?
I don't know.
I'll just wait till like your bachelor party, and when you least expect it, just punch you. You said
during your best man speeches.
Yeah.
And anyways, I always want to do this to you, Michael.
Yeah, it's like playing tag at like inappropriate times.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, I know it's your wedding, but
Boom.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah. But it's legitimate ideas for 100 because these are all great. But I want maybe like a second or third option.
I feel like it's appropriate to talk about this in our 53rd episode too. You know, so like, it's fine.
I don't know.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on what we should do for episode 100.
My thought will
You've got time. We'll give you a good 6 to 12 months to figure it out for us.
Whatever they say will also be my opinion.
Sure. Let's be. I mean, hey, people like to comment on our stuff, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the docket for this evening, we are going to be tackling films 11 through 15 on the IMDb Top 250 list as of the end of 2021. Are there any other things that you would like to talk about, though?
I thought beforehand, we haven't done this in quite a few weeks.
Sure.
I wanted to recap on maybe some of the things you've been watching recently.
Oh, good.
I know this is kind of out of the blue because we haven't talked about this, and I'm saying this right now. But maybe let's do a little bit, because I think this will be a little bit of a shorter episode.
Yeah,
so I think we got time to maybe talk about some things we've been watching, reading, looking at.
Excellent.
Whatever.
Yeah. Sure. So right now, I am in the middle of 2 shows. I solo have been watching The Sandman on Netflix. It was just released a few weeks ago, or maybe last week.
Yeah.
Based off the Neil Gaiman graphic novel that was written
Of the same name.
forever ago.
Forevermore, if you will.
Forevermore. And it's quite good. It's a cool idea of kind of like all of the pantheon of like gods and legends and myths and all that stuff. So like the Sandman is the king of like dreams and nightmares, but there's still very much like hell and like Lucifer, but there's still like other gods and nightmares and all these, like it's a cool
Mishmash
world to, it's very like grounded and supernatural at the same time.
Have you read the comic?
I have
or
not.
The book
This is
or
my
whatever?
first exposure. I mean, I've like known about it, and then I know they did an audio version as well. So I think after this is when I'll do the deep dive. But I think right now it's hard to get like Sandman.
What
stuff.
do you think you would be like interested in the audiobook after seeing the show, or like?
I think I'm more interested in the graphic novel
I
after
agree,
seeing the
yeah.
show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it went on for a while. Like I think there's like
Oh, really?
14 novels or something.
Multi-Sandmans?
There's multi-Sandman.
Oh, got it.
That's one of the big ones I've been watching. But with my wife Kate, we've just dove into only murders in the building.
Exclusively only murders in the building. Got
Yes.
it. Okay.
So we've been watching that together and starting season 1. Like we're late to the game.
Mm-hmm.
But so far so good. It is cool. It is also kind of based off of a there's like podcast elements to the show itself, so it's very like entertaining in that way. Steve Martin and Martin Short, I mean, 2 comic giants getting together with Selena Gomez. You'd think like this is interesting.
Yeah.
But they do a good job.
Awesome.
So those are the 2 big things I've been watching.
Saw that show because of some good recommendations from some friends.
Yeah, we had some friends who were like, "Hey, we're in season 2. It's almost done.
Mm-hmm.
People should watch this." So I was like, "Hey, why not?"
That's a show I've been meaning to dive into. Heard great things
Same.
about it.
It's always been on my like backlog.
Yeah.
Of like, well, sure. And then when it got renewed for season 2, I was like, oh, I should probably keep an eye out on this. And then finally, just like, all right, we bit the bullet.
Is it giving you lots of podcast energy?
It is, because I think like there's this level of like anyone can do a podcast, and that's what I love about it.
Mm-hmm.
Is I think everyone has, no matter what topic you're doing, no matter what kind of podcast you're trying to make, do it anyway. Because even if you are doing something that there's already a field of people doing it, you're you and no one else is.
Dang.
And so that's
Preach.
awesome. And so while the show kind of plays off of how funny like people who make podcasts, there's like, it's like a dime a dozen, whatever. It's still relatively new. Like, I mean, obviously it's getting much more popular and all this stuff and whatever, but like, just do you. Don't let people tell you that you can't do it.
That's how we started this podcast.
Amen.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, look at us, not us, united.
Yeah. Hey, look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us.
And then other than that, book-wise, I just finished a audio-only book called Helldivers.
Oh, yes.
Which was a sci-fi novel about kind of post-apocalyptic Earth stuff where people have to like dive down to our like uninhabitable Earth in the future to get like supplies and stuff. And these people are called Helldivers because it's very dangerous to dive.
Because they're theoretically diving into hell.
Correct. Because it's such a dangerous place.
See, Nick, only as a podcaster can I understand what you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
See,
exclusive knowledge.
I connected those dots almost somewhat.
With
Some
the power
would say,
of being a podcast.
Some would say immediately.
Wow, that's fair. This is a tangent, but there is a video game that came out like a decade ago called Helldivers that is an incredible 4-player co-op game that if anyone has ever tried it, do it.
It was super fun.
So good. And now I think I'm going to either start Salem's Lot by Stephen King or Eye of the World and do the beginning of Wheel of Time.
I thought you already did Eye of the World.
I started the physical copy.
Yes.
And then Darcy was born.
And a child.
Yes. And so now I think I'm going to do audio, so that way if, like, I'm hanging out with her, we're doing walks or something, I can kind of, like, have it on, but, like, I don't have to worry about, like, reading it and not watch, like, you know, so. I'm still in the process of deciding which one I want to read.
Mm-hmm. I was also on a Stephen King kind of interest in starting.
And so what do you got?
I've had the email of the alert that my copy of The Strand is available. So that's somewhere I wanted to read.
What's The Strand?
It's like I don't know exactly because I want to know as little as possible, but it's like something about like some disease happens.
Okay.
So it's Stephen King's version of like some kind of disease happening. I think zombies and stuff maybe.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know. But as for what I've been watching, I don't know, dude. A whole lot of nothing.
Nice. So it was more just a question to me.
It was really just like, hey, I really have nothing going. I can tell you about chemistry and physics and stuff, but I can't tell you.
And why is that?
Because I'm taking a test and.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, taking that MCAT, you know.
Let's go. God bless.
But. Ask me in 2 weeks, and I'll tell you what's going on.
Sure.
I have been watching some Survivor.
Nice.
So whatever that is, apparently my study break is watching that show.
Survivor. What season are you
on? I don't know. 30. I jump around. There are 42 seasons, Nick.
Wow. So that means they release what? 2 a year?
2 a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
20 plus years this thing's been going on.
So I've seen about 7 seasons.
Okay. Who's the host of Survivor?
Jeff.
Okay.
Jeff.
Has there ever been another person?
No. Can there ever be another person?
No. Jeff. Just Jeff.
Just Jeff. Jeff.
Makes you think of 22 Jump Street when Channing Tatum's like, my name's Jeff.
Name's Jeff.
That's his accent. Anyway, go ahead.
It's a great show. My fiance got me into the show, and
really,
yeah,
that's not like you've already watched it.
No, I've never seen the show until we started dating.
Wow.
And I was like, she's like, oh, we like she grew up with this show, and like her family loves the show. It's special, and so I'm like, I don't know, I'll start watching it. And I was like, who knows? And then I got into it, like, this is
10 out of 10.
This is good.
Sick.
I recommend some of the newer ones. I went back and watched some of the older ones. They are kind of rough because they came out in like 2000, and it's like the editing is not great.
Sure.
But there's some good stuff. So I would recommend some of the newer ones. And so I just think it's fun and interesting social dynamic. And that's really, I have been watching pretty regularly.
Sure. Cool. Is there anything you're looking forward, like, hey, this is on my watch list, I'm going to watch soon?
Dude, I am interested in seeing the Sandman. I really would like to watch that.
Cool. Yeah, if you like it enough or you think it's worthy of an episode, maybe we can chat about it.
Definitely. I would love to watch Ms. Marvel. Been like, man, it's just like I just don't like. As soon as I finish this test, dude, I cannot tell you how many things I want to do, and I want to read. So I want to read something that doesn't contain chemistry in it, or biology or whatever. It's just like I want to read something. So I really want to sink my teeth into something.
Yeah, and by the time you're done, so I Am Groot dropped as well.
Did it? Okay.
August 10th is when it dropped.
Got it.
And
those are like shorts, though.
Yeah, but it's all released. So 5 episodes of just, and they even say it's dialogue free. So it's just I Am Groot, just rocking.
Chaos.
Yeah, and it's supposed to take place between Guardians 1 and 2.
Cool.
It's very Baby Groot centered.
Good.
And then She-Hulk dropped last week.
Wait, did
August 18th.
Yeah.
And so it is.
Really? I didn't know that at
officially
all.
Out. Yeah.
I'm so lost on everything.
And so that will have, So we'll have to check a lot of Marvel stuff out.
I'm glad. This is how the podcast works. Nick knows everything.
Yeah.
And Nick says a new thing is out, and Michael goes, "Cool,
really?
Let's watch it."
I love it. So no, yeah, we'll have plenty of Marvel content to cover. Miss Marvel kind of missed our. There's like lots of things. Obi-Wan, and then like with Kate working and me not, it's like I'm not gonna watch it without her.
Sure.
And so like we just have to find the right time, and so we're gonna have. It'll be nice actually. Like we won't have to like wait for episodes. We can just watch all of Miss Marvel. We can watch. I might actually watch I Am Groot with like Darcy. I think that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Like
she's like, I am Groot.
Like,
Her first words are, I am
Let's
Groot.
Go. And so, but then She-Hulk, I'm actually looking forward to, because when Law is involved, and I know my boy Daredevil is like now kind of back in the MCU.
Yeah, he's got to be
criminal not to put him in there.
Oh, it would be criminal, he says.
You know what I mean?
It's criminal, he says.
Let's just say, the one thing Marvel can do is like redo his costume, and there's an iconic Daredevil costume where he's like yellow with a lot of, like it's all yellow, but then like a red, like burgundy chest. So I think it's just like a classic Marvel move. They'll probably do his old school. I don't know.
Why would they do that suit?
Well, two things. I think one, to rebrand to be like, it's MCU now.
It's different.
It's not Netflix anymore. Two, I think in order to fit him into all this, he'll have blipped probably.
That makes sense.
And so like he comes back, he doesn't have any of his shit anymore.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that makes sense?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
You did. I would love. I mean, and then they already announced. I don't know how much of the Marvel stuff.
I know that they announced
he's getting his own
Daredevil
show.
Reborn or whatever.
And it's like 18 episodes, which is like
that's insane.
That's 3 seasons of like Mandalorian, y'all.
Yeah.
Or no, I guess it's like 2.5. But like most of these shows have been like 6 episodes, 8 episodes, and they're doing 18.
Do you think that might be it? Like it's just, or like for like a Daredevil, it's like, here, we did it. And then, like, he comes back in movies and stuff.
No, he could be in movies.
Yeah.
Oh, 100. I don't know if he's going to get, like,
his
multiple
own stuff.
seasons, but, like, they're clearly putting their money on Charlie Cox to be like, hey.
Oh, he's a great Daredevil.
Yeah. Which is very cool because, like, Kevin Feige's definitely the guy to be, like, not humble himself and be like, anything unrelated to the MCU is trash. Like, they haven't brought back Phil Coulson.
Yeah.
And, like, none of the Netflix shows have made it, but I think he just knew, like, Charlie Cox actually kind of killed it, so maybe we just, like, do it. And then they did it, and so it's like, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So.
Very cool.
Anyway, looking forward to all that.
I'm looking forward to that as well.
It's gonna be a time.
It is going to be a time.
And then there's still one more Marvel movie, but we'll get to it.
Yeah. When's that come out? November?
Yeah.
Okay.
So plenty of stuff we can watch.
Well, you know what else we can watch? 5 of the greatest movies of all time, Nick.
Let's go.
Well, you know what? We're going to decide if they're the greatest movies of all time.
You're going to decide, and then I'm going to tell you if you're wrong. At least one time.
Yeah, one time. So, for those who don't know, this will be our 3rd episode of going through. Nick and I have decided to go through the IMDb top 250 movies that they say, or at least the public has said, are the greatest movies of all time. We want to make a list. Do we agree with them? Do we not? Do we keep what is on the list and maybe add some more? We want to make an IMDb, as it is said, in Not Us United, Chapter 1, Verse 1, in our image.
Correct.
And so we're going to go through every single movie that is on the list as of the end of 2021 and say whether it is on our list. Now, we'll be flipping back and forth. This week, I will do 5 movies. I will say whether they are on the list or not.
Yep.
And as we go through, we'll do one at a time. But if I put one off the list or I put one on the list, Nick has one veto for these group of 5 to say, no, I think that should not be on the list, or no, I think it should be on the list.
If somebody is just speaking absolute nonsense, we can at least keep one decision.
Yes. If someone, Michael, is speaking nonsense, then someone, Nick, can put them in their place.
Which you used last episode that we did this on.
Yes, I
took the good, the bad, and the ugly off of the top 250, and you said no.
I said no. And do I regret that? As per our last week episode of what we reviewed, nope.
Oh, nice. I was like, where are you going with this? If you totally just regret it, I'm going to be so pissed. Anyway. Okay.
All right.
So bring the heat, bro.
We will be doing
numero 11.
Yeah, that's how they say it in French.
Yep.
11 through 15 is what we'll be doing this week.
Yes.
Numero the once.
Yes.
The movie is called Forrest Gump. A little ditty called.
A little ditty that, you know.
Now, Nick, I don't have a huge love for Forrest Gump, I will admit.
Okay.
I watched it kind of later than a lot of people, and a lot of people loved it and they're quoting it and all that. And I go through and I'm like, oh, you know what? It's a pretty good movie. I like it a lot. Should it be in the IMDb top 250? Well, let's talk about Forrest Gump for a moment.
Please. I love all these rhetorical questions that I don't get to answer. You're just like, should it be? Anyway, let's talk. And I'm like, should I answer?
Forrest Gump is about a man who goes and has adventures. He goes into the Vietnam War. He goes and talks to Mr. the Nixon. He goes and it's... But really, he stops Watergate. He's a ping pong player, but really it's about life. It's about...
It is.
Dare I say, the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
Anyways, should it be in the top 250? Yeah, sure, I guess. I don't know.
You set that up so bad. I was like, oh no, he's going to take Forrest Gump off. Yeah, this movie, everybody's dad would be offended if we took this off, for sure. But there is a uniqueness to this. There's a cool, like, man out of time where he gets to kind of be a part of so many important things. That's kind of cool.
It's fun. Is it my number 11 of all time?
No. Yeah. I think some of these are... The hard part with the way IMDb is rated is that it's similar to, like, Rotten Tomatoes, where, like, 90% of people said it's in the top 250. So that means it's in the top 10% of movies.
Yeah.
So they just take it as everybody who could have picked a movie at least picked this on the top 250. So that means it's important. And it's like, yeah, it belongs in the top 250. I just don't think it probably is number 11.
No, I agree. I think we definitely agree on that, where it's a little lower for me. But it is fun. It is good.
Yeah.
I liked Tom Hanks' performance, and it's iconic.
I will say though, for Tom Hanks, I mean, like, this one movie could have been enough to be like, you did it, bro. Like, you got a career. But I will say, like, I still think of, like, 3 or 4 other Tom Hanks movies before I think of Forrest Gump.
Definitely.
But I will say, to the general public, like, this will be, like, what he's remembered for. So that and Toy Story. Like,
okay.
Those
what are some other ones that come to mind before this movie?
I always think of Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah,
definitely. I love him in Catch Me If You Can. I think of Terminal. I love Terminal.
Mm-hmm.
That's one that, like, I feel like because he did Castaway, just gets overshadowed 100 times.
Yeah.
No one likes Terminal.
Right.
I never hear anybody talk about Terminal. I love that movie. Castaway is obviously, like, crazy. You've Got Mail is, like, my family is like, it is biblical that everyone, like, watches that movie.
Great movie.
Classic. Saving Private Ryan, I would argue is, like, okay, if there's going to be, like, Forrest Gump or Saving Private Ryan, I'm picking Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, if we had to pick between the two of those, I definitely agree.
So it's wild that this man's career has had so many absolute bangers that, like, Forrest Gump has excelled so high that I'm like, I'd probably pick, like, 3 or 4 others before this.
It just feels like Forrest Gump is the highest rated of all these? Okay, weird.
But I will say there's not a lot of movies that do what Forrest Gump does, whereas, you know, You've Got Mail is kind of like, well, is it your rom-com of choice? Sure. There's a lot of other rom-coms. Because, like, in that movie, it's a guy who, like, is technically with another person who decides, you know what, I'm going to not date this person anymore to date this girl. Okay, well, that's every rom-com ever, technically. The way they do it is a little more unique, and I like it.
Because he has mail.
He has got mail.
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan's, like, pretty iconic for a war movie, but other people might pick, like, 1917, or they might pick...
The Red Line.
God forbid they pick
Apocalypse.
Dunkirk, but, like, there might be some other people who are just, like, you know, loving some of these other films. So the other genres that he's in, there's no other Forrest Gump that I can think of.
That's fair. That's definitely fair.
So I think that's why it's stood the test of time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, let me tell you, there's no other Fight Club, and that's the next movie on our list.
That is true.
Yeah.
Because no one can talk about it. weren't ready for that, were you?
Uh-oh.
Your boy came prepared.
Your boy looked at the 5 movies.
I watched it 5 times this week. Let's talk. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna go ahead. Fight Club is definitely on the list. Nick is giving me a face.
What? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Nick is giving me a face. Nick gave me a face of like, I can veto this. I have the power.
I just want you to know, just in case.
Are you going to veto this?
I'm the captain now. Captain Phillips.
Tom
Hanks.
Cruise.
No, I will not veto.
Okay.
Fight Club's crazy.
Yeah. I wanted to be, when maybe like going in, I was like, maybe I'll do something crazy and veto Fight Club, and then I was like, oh no, this movie is like insanely good. And like I think there's a stigma around it to be like, whoa, college guys, and it's like, oh, Fight Club is.
Yeah, dude, I totally understand what you're saying.
No, like, oh, the poster on the wall. It's like Fight Club is like, yeah, guys, we're cool. I know movies. I know what movies are. Fight Club.
Sure.
And it's just like, but there is something to this of like watching again, like seeing like the splices of like, if you go back and see like, oh, Tyler Durden is in like scenes before he even meets Tyler Durden, and like there's like moments where it's like you can see him, Brad Pitt before he even meets Brad Pitt.
They do a
good
like, job.
And so it's like, it's this sort of rewatchability of it is really great, and it's just really, I think it's just really well done.
Sure. 90s and early 2000s, Edward Norton is absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude had some just amazing films.
Incredible Hulk.
No, that was late 2000s. Stop. No, you have this. You have American History X. You have Primal Fear. Did you ever watch that?
No.
Bro.
I'm having Primal Fear right now about how you're going to react to that.
It's a hard watch again, but it's not as hard as
American History X.
But, dude, Edward Norton, man, I love that dude. And, like, I feel like after Incredible Hulk, everyone's like, pfft, and it's like, no, this dude is legit.
Yeah.
And I love him so much. And so I want anything he's in, I'm going to watch.
Okay.
And Fight Club is no exception. So good. So yeah, I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
Definitely.
Helm
Bonham Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I pronounced it fully. Helen.
Yep.
A bottom.
Bottom.
Bottom, is that it?
A
Carter.
Bottom.
Helen Bonham Carter.
Sure.
I can say it fast, but not.
Yeah.
Helen a bottom.
It's like I feel like the general public was like, oh, Bellatrix.
Yes.
From Harry Potter, and then like Sweeney Todd maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But no, she's done some other things.
So is Fight Club.
It's always Fight Club.
Yep.
Kills it. And Brad Pitt, I mean.
I think it's just a way like there's like it's shot like I went back and you watch it and it's like when like the line of sight of like people looking at Tyler Durden and he and Edward Norton's in the direct sight of Tyler Durden. It's like, oh, he's looking, but they're actually looking at him, but he thinks they're looking. It's like there's so much to that.
A good job. Yeah.
So I think there's so much in there that's like,
cool. Oh, it's a good twist.
Whoa, yeah. Sorry to ruin Fight Club if you haven't seen Fight Club.
First rule of Fight Club is know what Fight Club's about, you dummies. No, we'll keep it on the list. It sounds good.
For sure. The next movie is 13 is in Inception. I think it's a trash film. I think it's...
You're on a roll.
I am. I'm just trying to second guess everybody. Inception is about Leonardo DiCaprio going into people's minds and talking about people's dreams. Edward Norton is in this movie? No, that's Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I'm sorry.
JGL, baby.
Yeah, pointy hair.
Yep.
Going into people's minds,
Dream Within a Dreams.
Dream Within a Dreams, all that stuff.
Yep.
Christopher Nolan, probably at the height of his powers.
This is right around Dark Knight.
2010, after Dark Knight. So peak Nolan maybe. Who knows? Is it my favorite Nolan film? No. But it isn't on top 250 in 100%. My opinion. Yeah, 100%. Yep. I think it's unique enough to be like, dude. I mean, and just like of the time of like, everyone's talking about Inception. People are still talking about Inception today.
Yeah, I mean, without this film, you don't get your Interstellars and the rest of like some of the stuff where he kind of goes out
Sure,
there.
because everyone wanted to watch Interstellar, and everyone loves Interstellar.
Dude, Interstellar's insane. Don't even
Like
trip.
Christine on the line real quick.
Yeah. Olive Garden. She'll get that reference. Yeah, I mean, coming off of like The Dark Knight, you know, which is obviously like maybe one of the best superhero. I mean,
yeah, with contention of like
it's top 5 best superhero movies ever
hands
made.
down.
Maybe top 3.
Yeah.
Shit, it might be the best. It might be the best superhero movie ever made.
Top 10, top 5, top 3.
I mean,
the best one.
It's depending on what your tastes are, but he's doing that, but he's still like, hey, but remember, I'm also like able to just do other movies too.
Yeah, this is a completely unique idea.
Yeah.
Not based on anything else.
And it's good. I mean, it's very well thought out. There is a gimmick to it, but it's not like you're ever going like, man, this movie sucks because of its gimmick. The gimmick is awesome.
Yeah.
So they do a good job.
And some people's like, oh, it's too complicated to like maybe understand. I think there's been some hate post it coming out.
Yeah. If he didn't make Dunkirk and Tenet, this new Oppenheimer movie that he's got coming out where he is just flexing super freaking hard.
Yeah.
Like so hard. Like there's like commercials roll and then the movie's starting and then he rolls again and goes, hey, wait, my movie's starting now. Is like insane. But like if it was just Inception, just Interstellar, just The Dark Knight, yeah, 100% Oppenheimer can do this.
Yeah.
I just think he's had a few like where it's like, hey, you're not like perfect.
Yeah.
So let's be careful before we flex.
Yeah.
Like, but it's fine.
I liked
He's
Tenet.
Nolan. He's gonna get remembered forever.
Oh
it's
yeah,
fine.
100%. I liked Tenet.
Yeah.
Dunkirk, we don't have to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Tenet's solid, but I just think like it's not like he's without his flaws. Anyway.
Anyways, we got 2 more on the list.
I veto Inception. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, cool. I'm glad we both agree on this.
Oh boy. And then I would get canceled if I even tried to cancel the next 2 movies.
Yeah.
But let's see how it goes.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty nice, easy week for Not Us United, hopefully.
Yeah, I think so.
Hopefully with this next one, which is Nick's favorite.
Lord of the Rings.
As he professes.
10 out of 10.
The Two Towers.
Yeah.
Tell us why you think this is the best Lord of the Rings before you veto it.
Well, ironically, the movie after this will explain, but this is very much the Empire Strikes Back of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's the part where there isn't... This is my favorite of the 3 because it's gritty. There is, like, some hopelessness. There is some stakes. There is, like, will they fail? In the first one, they're kind of just getting together, and there's kind of, like, some trials, but there's not enough happening for me to be like, it can't be over yet. Second one, the Battle of Helm's Deep, is just one of the coolest, memorable battles in film that I can ever think of. And that's, like, including fiction and nonfiction. Like, they just do such a good job of, like, practical effects that it just feels like there's thousands of people covered in mud.
Yeah.
Dressed as orcs.
I think there kind of was.
No, I mean, and they do, but I mean, like, they do such a good job of showing you scale and all that, like, but still making it practical and real. Whereas the third one, like, kind of loses me just a little bit. Like, there's some cool stuff, because the third one's the elephant one, right? Where they do all the elephant shit. That's dope.
Elephant.
Awesome. 10 out of 10. But the ghost army kind of, like, kills it for me, so I'm just fair. Hey, Two Towers is, like, the gritty, real one where, like, oh, are they going to lose? Okay, they survive. And so, like, it just feels good, and that very much is similar to, like, The Empire Strikes Back, where, like, they are kind of at their lowest, but some of the coolest stuff happens in the trilogy.
Yep. I agree. I think Two Towers is definitely, it's still a 10 out of 10 movie. If it's just, like, pulling, I don't know. Whatever the terminology is. I think it is the least favorite of mine, but it's still like Helm's Deep is awesome.
And that is why I'm vetoing it. So it's not going to be on the top.
To be clear, we both agree that it's going to be on the top 250.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. I don't know. Sometimes Nick is a wild card. Sometimes it's the Two Towers of this podcast.
Dude, if I vetoed The Empire Strikes Back for even any valid reason, we would literally just not exist anymore as a podcast.
Not us united, I'll tell you
We'd
what.
literally just be like a nail in our own coffin. That's fine.
Yeah, so Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, I definitely, obviously agree.
Yep.
So we'll move on from that, and we'll move on to the number 15 movie is...
we should, like, stack our vetoes if we don't use them. Damn it. That's fine.
You agreed to it.
I know, I already did. It's fine. I'm sleeping in the bed I made. Go ahead.
Star Wars: Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Episode 5.
It's goated.
It is my favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Is it yours?
I'm not ashamed to like some of the prequels, and so I think like just based off of like saber fighting, I do like some of the prequels more. I'm also not ashamed to like Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, same, yeah. Sith is like top 5 for me for sure.
I just don't know. Like if I were to go back and be like, I'm gonna go watch my favorite Star Wars movie, this is the one I pick. Empire Strikes Back's probably up there. It's in the top 3 for me. I just don't know if it's Rogue One, Revenge of the Sith, or Empire Strikes Back.
Those might also be my top 3 as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I think Revenge of the Sith is my favorite.
Wow. I think Revenge of the Sith is good.
Yeah.
But I think where Empire Strikes Back is strongest is, I think, in its writing. Where Revenge of the Sith is like, not from a Jedi.
Well, as Anakin says in Revenge of the Sith, I hate you! No, I'm just kidding.
I think like Lucas had too much control. Like, this
when
was
Palpatine goes, no. Yeah, you're right. That probably makes it go just a notch below Empire Strikes Back. But man,
Luke, I am your
from
father.
a Jedi.
Not from a Jedi.
That's a 10 out of 10 line
Oh,
right
come
there.
on, get out of here.
Come on, dude. That dude just ate it up. What's his name?
Oh, yeah, he's doing it.
I don't know.
Palpatine.
10 out of 10. No, not like, what is his... I know his fictional name.
I know.
I just don't know the actor's name.
Oh, Anthony? No.
Brad Pitt. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I think it's on the list for me. It is... As someone who professes that Star Wars is overall 7 out of 10, I think this bumps it up.
Sure.
It's where it is Star Wars at its best. Is this? And I think it is that darkness. I mean, there is a reason why people are like, oh, it's the Empire Strikes Back of this trilogy.
Yeah, I mean, this is where you get the iconic line. Yeah. This is where you get, I mean, everything that like dope happens in this movie. And there's some cool stuff that happens in Return of the Jedi, but Empire Strikes Back's where like Lucas is like, oh shit, we struck gold, and then like actually delivered on a sequel.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Some people, myself included, think it is a sequel that's better than the original.
100%.
So I think he defined a lot of just movies in general of like, you can leave it on this negative note and be like, oh, it's okay. And I think a lot of movies can learn from that. But it's just like, it's just so much going on.
This is the best Mark Hamill performance by far too. I mean, like he does some crazy stuff in this one. Yeah, I mean, his whole reacting.
Are you discrediting The Last Jedi? I'm just kidding.
I don't think I need to. But no, I don't think anyone's saying that that's the best Luke Skywalker film. So it's fine.
You're saying his reaction to Vader.
Yeah, I mean, when you're reacting to somebody who can't show facial features, like Darth Vader as a villain is obviously very iconic by the way that he looks, but I mean, like, when you're acting side by side to someone who literally can't show emotion.
Yeah.
And, he's like, search your feelings. I am your father. He's like, no. Just like the pain of like what that would actually mean is like the one enemy that I have to fight is my blood.
Yeah.
That's insane. And then his growth through that is pretty cool. So, I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
Gosh. Yeah, there's no way in hell I could have ever
vetoed that.
I mean, the weakest film out of these 5 is Forrest Gump.
I agree.
And I don't think Forrest Gump was going to get cut.
No,
so.
I agree. I think the only one that I was like, maybe on was Forrest Gump. Yeah. Just to be like...
Which is weird because like I was maybe on 2 of them last time, and those were in the 6 to 10 range. You know, Pulp Fiction and Good, Bad, and Ugly. It's just wild that these like amazing films are even lower than that. Because I think I would argue that these would be higher than any of the ones I dealt with last week, right?
Yeah. So the ones you dealt with were Schindler's List, Return of the King, Pulp Fiction,
Return of the King,
Lord of the Rings, Fellowship, and Good, the
Whatever.
Bad, and the Ugly. So 2 of those you agree were less than. But this one, I think, of that caliber, this is probably a better, or at least more iconic of those 5.
Yeah.
At least
these 5 are going to be higher than
those other
overall.
Overall, those 5.
Besides, because
I think Pulp Fiction and Good, the Bad, and the Ugly will be pretty low on our list.
Right.
But I also think Forrest Gump will be pretty low. But I don't think Inception, Fight Club, Two Towers, and Empire Strikes Back.
Those are solid pack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
If I had to pick, like, if we were to fight, I don't know. This
It's like we got a pack of Magic the Gathering cards. And we got like 5 just rares straight. But last week I got 1 mythic rare and then a bunch of commons. And you're just like, meh. You know what I mean? Maybe 2
3 mythics and 2 commons.
2 mythics, 1 rare, 2 regular commons.
2 land cards.
2 land cards. Yeah, there it is. So there it is.
So all our Magic the Gathering fans.
Yeah. Turns 30 this year, just like me.
Wow. Whoa.
And La Pancheros.
Wow.
It's a wild year for me,
3 great
bro.
things.
It's a wild year for me.
3 great things that we all love.
All this month, too.
Wow, really?
Or no, wait. Magic might be October.
Cancel.
But still.
Cancel it.
I might just have to like get a pack just to be like,
I know.
hey, 30.
Birthday pack.
And there's a Panchero shirt that says still pressing. Still pressing on or something like, and I was like, oh, I need it.
Does it have like a date range or something?
Like, it just says 30, still pressing. I was like,
so
I need that for my birthday so bad.
So good.
It literally turns 30 in August too. Like
that's wild.
It's the same month as me.
That's so cool. Has it done it yet, or is it?
It's just this month. I don't remember if it's before or after. I think it might be before actually. So it might have already turned 30.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Still pressing.
Still pressing on, baby.
So cool.
Pressing them tortillas, baby.
Well, that was our next 5 of our IMDb. Sorry for it being
pretty uncontroversial.
Yeah.
No hot takes.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes Nick throws a hot take at us, and
it's just taste.
It's just good taste. It's just good taste.
I said just taste. I didn't say it was good. I'm not saying my taste is good, but I think Not Us United's gonna give you guys probably a safer 250 than IMDb.
What do you mean safer 250? Like,
I feel like IMDb suffers from this guy said it was good and this guy said it was good, so it must be good, so we have to say it's good, and then it unproportionally like levels up. Like, you and I had this issue with Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
No way is that the best movie ever made.
Yeah.
But it's just because everybody who voted's like, well, yeah, it's in my top 250.
It's pretty good, yeah.
So, like I said, it's the Rotten Tomatoes of it all. It's like, honestly, the best films could be in these 5.
Yeah.
More than the top 5.
Yeah.
But because of the way the voting works, one guy left off Empire Strikes Back, so now it's 11.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't like that. That sucks because one guy said no.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think we're going to have a more solid 250.
I agree.
So I'm excited.
I agree. I think it's going to get interesting
more accurate.
The next few weeks.
Yeah.
Where we get to some of the movies where like, okay, this isn't.
They could actually be shedded.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think you're on next week, and honestly, I think one of those movies might be shedded.
Don't worry about that. I'll take care of you.
Okay. I'll see. Well, thank you all for listening. This is another episode of Not Us United. We enjoy that you have listened to us. We know there are a lot of podcasts out there, some going through the IMDb, who knows, but now you have listened to our opinions of these movies and our opinion of the IMDb, and you can listen to anyone else, but you've not listened to us. Not Us United.
Amen. Well said. All right, take it easy, everybody.
You've just listened to Not Us United. You can find us under Not Us United on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. Please leave us a review and consider subscribing to our podcast. You can reach out for future podcast topic suggestions at notusunitedpod@gmail.com.